All right, Gail will call the Board of Public Works and Capital Assets meeting to order of February 11th, 2025. Roll call. Gail is here.
Zarnecki here.
Seifert here.
Segal here.
Approval of minutes of January 14th, 2025. If any notations, corrections, additions, deletions, otherwise we'll take a motion on that.
Seifert moves to approve the minutes of January 14th, 2025.
Zarnecki second.
Roll call. Gail, aye.
Zarnecki aye.
Seifert, aye.
Segal aye.
Brett, how does it feel to say 2025?
What?
How does it feel to say 2025?
Kind of old.
It's getting there, isn't it? I remember as a kid, though, thinking 1970. Like, wow, that sounds weird.
You know, when you just think about it, it was just 2020 a few days ago.
And then you're about to slide into COVID, right? All right, cool. Item 4 is informational review of common council actions related to public works and capital assets. Francesca, or who's got that? Matt, anything? Matt?
Get on the mic here. Matt Sullivan, Assistant City Administrator, City Engineer. 2 items to note is the Common Council approved the contract with MSA for parks and open space planning for the city. And then they also approved the contract for the Pewis and Liberty construction for the roundabout. 1.1 million, about 200,000 under budget or estimate. Those are the 2 major items that were approved on the agenda this last week.
Any questions or anything to bring up? Otherwise, we'll move along then. Item 5 then, consider motion to approve the purchase of the audio video conferencing equipment for $18,235.31.
Morning, Brent Miller, Assistant IT Director. We are asking for consideration for a purchase of an upgrade to the audio video equipment for the EOC. Currently, it's basically a bunch of monitors that we can display, share information on. We're looking to add audio video conferencing capability for meetings to enhance the capabilities of the room. The amount that we're looking for right now is the big overall infrastructure purchases for it, and yeah, if you have any other questions.
Oh, and this was budgeted in CIP
Correct.
past fall. Anything, any questions? Otherwise, entertain a motion on that.
Seifert moves to approve the purchase of audio-visual conferencing equipment for $18,235.31.
Zarnecki will second.
Roll call. Gail is aye.
Zarnecki aye.
Seifert, aye.
Segal aye.
Great. Thank you. Item 6, consider a motion to approve the purchase of a Can-Am UTV and related equipment in the amount of $53,386. Michael.
Good morning, Alderman Gale, board members, Mike Kresick, Fire Chief. Today requesting your consideration for approval for the purchase of a Can-Am UTV to replace the 2003 John Deere ATV. This is part of the 2025 budget and the capital improvement program. Essentially, we're replacing an outdated vehicle with a new vehicle upgraded that allows us a little bit more flexibility in terms of response and equipment movement. We did collect multiple quotes for manufacturers and vendors. Our current request is a purchase cost of $53,386 for a Can-Am model out of Milwaukee Power Sports. Be happy to answer any questions related to this.
Do you have a trailer for this, or do you just drive it right on the highway?
Great question. One of the reasons for this upgrade is our John Deere ATV, we had to kind of trailer it to a location, really no emergency capabilities. The UTV allows us some road travel, especially in terms of going from Station 2 to the lake bank. So this will allow us much more flexibility in terms of being drivable from a station to a location.
You don't need a trailer then.
Correct.
Thank you.
This is also part of this past fall's CIP cycle. Any other questions, comments? Take a motion on that.
Sigali moves to approve the purchase of fire department
Canned
utility
cam.
gas vehicle of $50,386.
Zarnecki will second.
Roll call, Gales, aye.
Zarnecki, aye.
Seapert, aye.
Sigali, aye.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mike. Item 7 then is consider a motion to purchase a Toro stand-on 60-gallon Spraymaster from Reinders in the amount of $19,141.33 through the Sourcewell bid contract. Matt?
Yep. Good morning, Chairman and board members. This was part of the 2025 CIP budget, where we had included $21,000 for it. We went out to request quotes for this product. You can see we had received numbers from Reinders as well as the Sourcewell bid pricing, which was very favorable. Actually, it was like 27% below what the regular retail price would have been strictly through Reinders. So it did come within budget. This is a stand-on 60-gallon sprayer unit. Currently what we use is a lot of backpacks. They're about 5 gallons where we go around and spray multiple areas. A lot of area to cover, which takes a lot of time. And this would be able to speed up that process in these areas and save a lot of time where we're trying to keep staffing levels as minimal as we can within our parks division.
Yeah, question for you. Does, to use this piece of equipment, you have to be, any special certifications or protections you have to be wearing at the time you're using it? Or?
No, it's pretty much just a stand-on,
Yeah.
just kind of right on the back of it.
Whoever's trained up can use it?
Yep. It's no different than just even a simple riding lawnmower or.
I mean,
you know,
that's what I
let
use in
let
my
alone
yard,
a-
so I'm like, yeah.
Probably less professional or less aggressive than even a zero-turn mower, I think, with
Yeah.
this unit.
Well,
But,
there's
yeah.
no shortage of boulevards and places in town. We can certainly use a
No,
little
and-
more efficient piece of equipment.
Won't have as many of the Ghostbuster packs on to do those.
Any questions or anything for Matt? All right, I'll take a motion on 7 then.
Seapert moves to approve the purchase of a Toro stand-up 60-gallon Spraymaster from Reiners in the amount of $19,141.33 through the Sourcewell bid contract.
Sigali seconds.
Roll call, Gill is aye.
Zarnecki, aye.
Seapert, aye.
Sigali, aye.
Thank you. 8 is consider a motion to award the architectural and engineering design services contract for the Almachine Park Beer Garden construction project to Britain, Inc. in the amount of $87,200.
All right, thank you. I'll take that one
All right,
as well.
great.
I'm not sure the board's familiarity with the beer garden project.
This board, I'm not sure if they've ever seen the renderings or anything. Although I think there's some in here.
There's
So,
some stuff
Yeah.
in here.
So initially, I know several years ago, the city had looked at designing and actually did design more of a all-season facility, really to be used as a pavilion for rental purposes in addition to a beer garden. When those cost estimates came in, construction estimates came in at about 3.2 million. I think the city kind of pivoted and took a pause on it and decided to look and explore different options. That was in 2022, I believe, when that kind of stalled out. So what the city did through still having that be a strategic action plan item and reviewing it a bit with the last year's budget workshop with the Common Council, we looked at another opportunity to kind of look at it in a different way, and the proposal of looking at shipping containers was explored. And in doing so, we were looking at probably a price closer to $1 to $1.1 million for the full shipping container facility built out. It'd probably be 7 or 8 units that would be put together and basically put into more of a seasonal facility. It wouldn't be heated or cooled, but it would be used for essentially up to early spring into the fall for beer gardens serving and concessions of kind of light food items, that type of thing. And then also incorporating other elements such as possibly with the operator, potentially bocce courts in the future. Public Works would likely look at a seating area for people. Maybe we would look at a play structure would likely get done right away for people, families to come to the garden. And then maybe in the future look at opportunities for a stage as well. This is really just looking at the design for the beer garden structures themselves that we went out for bid on. We had received 5 bids, essentially for a turnkey beer garden facility, fully built out, essentially more or less in a factory or a controlled environment, and then to be delivered, installed, and basically utilities connected, ready for operation. So we'd received 5 different proposals. Britain was definitely the one that stood out. It wasn't the least expensive. It wasn't the most expensive. It was right in the middle, at third, we'll call it, for those 5 proposals. But they really stood out in the fact that they've done 20 plus of these designs and moved forward with them ultimately being completed and constructed. Whereas the others really were kind of just dipping their toes in it. I think some couple didn't have any experience. The other 2 had done 1 or 2 projects that probably weren't even this big of in nature. They were probably 1 or 2 unit facilities that they had put together. So Britain definitely is kind of one of the leaders, it looks like, in this area for designing these beer gardens. They also construct them, but this is put together so that the design is done so that we still need to openly bid it out once we do have that design developed. So Britain is who we were recommending for approval upon review of all of the submissions or proposals, and the total cost that they had was $87,200 for the design. That would be something we'd be looking to take from a park impact fees. I know previously we had budgeted $1,318,000 in 2022 CIP for this project, so we'd likely be looking at park impact fees as well as other sources to actually get to the construction phase of that. Ultimately looking at the beer garden itself to be constructed in 2025 and then installed in the spring of 2026. And then throughout 2025, we would be looking at the site work where Public Works would be doing a lot of the in-house work of pouring the concrete slabs, the foundation for the beer garden, also for the seating area, and then putting some type of playground structure in there as well.
I was wondering about that because I recall in past conversations that DPW had intended or be able to help with the cost by providing a lot of the infrastructure.
Hopefully we can get by then with materials and not the labor, which should help keep the overall cost down.
Dan or Matt, do you recall, have we centered on a vendor yet? Are we still?
There is one operator that we've been working with closely.
This is designed in particular along what
Yes.
along what they desired.
Yeah, we actually spoke with them quite a bit to make sure that we would incorporate what they're going to need to have an successful operation.
We have not signed a contract with them.
Not yet, no. I know the mayor and Andrew are both working on that. I've sat in on a couple of those meetings. I think over the next few months they're looking to iron out some type of an agreement.
So this is expected to be open when, Matt? Did you say?
We're hoping that it would be opened in the spring of 2026, probably May of 2026.
That season, all the events would be held there, beer garden related events. But this would be open regularly though, not just
Yes.
for specific events, right?
Yep, it would likely be potentially Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think was kind of what they were looking at.
And that vendor would handle all that operation, right?
Yes.
Bob, anything? Fred?
Yeah, now, is this facility available to the public to rent?
It would not be. It would be exclusively for serving for the beer garden for that operator to use. Now, it would be a city asset, so in the future, if they wouldn't be under contract, or agreement with the city to be in that location, we could look for others, or we could use it for other concession type purposes. But it wouldn't be a rental type facility per se.
I'm kind of thinking of businesses holding their summer picnic or whatever, and
They would be available to do that through the operator if they
Yeah.
wanted to work with that business to have an event there. They could do that. I think that would be something that they would be open to.
thank you.
Just for context, what were the range and proposals from the other vendors?
Yeah, the costs.
Yeah.
Ed, I don't remember either. Does this maintain the existing, kind of restrooms and food counter that the baseball diamond uses?
Yeah, so for restrooms, I think what we're gonna look at is, if possible, we would renovate the existing session restrooms into just restrooms, if that's a possibility structurally, and if that would provide enough capacity. Otherwise, we would look at, and potentially in 2026, it may be a thing where we rent nicer portable restrooms to get that up and running, but that would be something separate that we would need to look at to have additional facilities.
Because I mean, that was built because
So,
varsity schedule.
so the costs range from about, we'll say 170,000 was the highest that we had, and then I believe we did have one proposal for 29,800.
It
So,
looked like that was probably the one that was ranked very poorly, is my guess, so
yeah, that one
you
was,
get what you pay for in some circumstances.
It was just 2 crates.
Yep.
yeah, they
and
were
the
ranked,
board.
they were ranked fourth out of,
All right, thank you.
Anything else, guys?
I guess the only question I would have is, I mean, it's 87,200 for their.
Yeah.
87,200, and it seems here, when I look at their information, they're doing the design and construction docs for 69,000, but then they've got bidding and permitting and construction administration on there for another 18,200 total. Are we ready for bidding and permitting and construction administration?
wouldn't be at this point until the design is there, but we did request that as part of the
Okay.
proposals, because we would want the designers to be involved once we do get into the construction phase.
Good, Bob? All right, cool. Motion?
Zarnecki will move to approve the architectural and engineering design service contract for Ebenschein Park Beer Garden Construction Project to Britain Inc. in the amount of $87,200.
Seifert seconds.
Roll call, Gill is aye.
Zarnecki, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next is a motion to, consider a motion to approve the final payment for the PLC placement project at the water treatment plant to Next Electric in the amount of $197,040.30.
Good morning. This project is finally complete, so we can move on to final payment. Everything's, the as-built drawings are in, everything's done with the project.
This is a long and somewhat tortured.
Yes,
Right.
very tortured.
Think from you guys? All right, I'll take a motion on that.
Zarnecki will move to approve the final payment for the PLC replacement project at the water treatment plant to Next Electric in the amount of $197,048.30.
Seifert seconds.
Roll call, Gill is aye.
Zarnecki, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Segala, aye.
Next, then, we'll consider a motion to award the West Putes Road and South Liberty Lane Water Relay Project to the lowest responsible bidder, A.W. Oaks and Son, for the bid amount of $127,685. Michael?
So as a result of the roundabout construction of that intersection, 2 hydrants and a little bit of water main need to be moved out of the way. That's what this project represents, those 2 hydrants and 165 feet of water main. We received 2 bids on the project. Yep, 2 bids. You can see those on the second sheet there, and A.W. Oaks was the low bid for the work.
Must be complicated work. Seems kind of rich.
That's kind of the way the prices are going now, but it's a small project. So for them to come in and do that,
That was in your estimate, Mike? Do we have an estimate on it?
yeah, I don't have the budget number on this. It's incorporated with the road project,
So it's, okay.
but it's what we expected.
Matt, did you have something?
Yeah, this is still well within our budget that we have. We had 1.7 million budgeted for the entire project, which included design, construction, relocation, and then real estate, and then also construction administration. I think the numbers that we ran were still 100,000 below. That includes with an estimated construction of about 100,000 for the engineering administration. We did work with our designers through the process to try to not have to relocate the water main. We tried everything from moving storm sewer, tried different sizes, different depths. We just couldn't avoid this this work. So that's why it's been brought forward at this time.
Thing for Matt or Michael? Great. All right, I'll take a motion then on item number 10.
Seifert moves to award the W. Putes Road and South Liberty Lane Water Relay Project to the lowest responsible bidder, A.W. Oaks and Son, for the amount of $127,685.
Sigali seconds.
Roll call, Gale is aye.
Zarnecki, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Sigali, aye.
Item 11 then is to consider a motion to enter into an agreement with Quality Power Solutions for the replacement of the control room UPS in the amount of $15,114.67.
So this project replaces our uninterrupted power supply or battery backup in the control room. It handles the control room and the PLCs for the filters in that area. It's a rather large unit. We've had it about 15 years. It's at its end of life. It does occasionally need battery replacements. We've done that several times. Now there's other work that needs, repair work that needs to be done. So it makes sense, because it's at its end of its life, because it needs batteries, it makes sense to go ahead and replace this now. I think the repair cost was $6,500. The new replacement cost is $50,000. It does make sense.
Pretty quick turnaround on this one, Mike?
Yeah.
Any questions for Mike? Motion on 11 then, please.
Sigali moves to approve entering into an agreement with Quality Power Solutions for the replacement of the control room UPS in the amount of $15,144.
Seifert seconds.
Roll call, Gale is aye.
Zarnecki, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Sigali, aye.
Thank you. Item 12 then is to consider the utility vouchers for the amount of $760,461.35.
Nothing special this month.
Any questions of any of the roster of payments there? All right, then I'll take a motion on item number 12.
Zarnecki will move to approve the utility vouchers in the amount of $760,461.35.
Seifert seconds.
Roll call, Gale is aye.
Zarnecki, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Sigali, aye.
Thank you. 13, admin and operation reports. Anything to note, gentlemen, that you want to bring forward or make note of?
The only thing I'd point out is on the distribution report, the number of water main breaks that we had in rapid succession is probably the notable point there. We had 2 days where the crews were working 30-plus hours. They finished one break at 7 o'clock at night, moved right over to Chicago Road and started at that one work through the night. We had that one, another break happened, and it's really common. Another break happened very close. A couple days later, another break happened at that same repair location right next to the plant. Something that when we did the repair work, we didn't notice any corrosion that was any worse than anything else. The rest of the pipe looks pretty good, except for these little pits that turn into large holes. So we didn't see it when we put that clamp on. Everything looked fine, and it let loose. It's super common when we disturb the soil over there. We put a ton of gravel into the pasture, sort of horse farm that's right there on Chicago Road. We're going to be working with them to try and clean that up. There's 3 breaks worth of dumping out, and the water naturally goes from that location into their pasture. So we'll work with them.
So, Mike, did you replace the whole piece of pipe there?
So on Chicago Road, we just put on a stainless steel clamp. On Putes Road, we actually had to replace a 4-foot section of pipe because it was right at the bell, the pipe right at that joint, so we couldn't patch it.
Chicago Road site has caused some large breaks. Is that
It hasn't, it hasn't. We've gone over that now, and certainly our distribution crews, you know, once we have a couple of breaks, they're like, hey, time to replace the main. It really isn't. We had maybe 3 years ago, a big one out there as well. We had 2 of them at that time, but further, it was that was north of Oakwood. So it's something to watch, but we're not panicking yet. In addition, the rest of the pipe looked really good. So we do have spot areas that are bad, but the rest of it looked pretty good.
If we get that far, I think there's a long-term plan to state or somebody has plans to redo that 4 lanes. Coordinate that, obviously. Gets that far. Anything else to make note of in the admin reports? Any questions from the crew here? All right. That wraps it up for what's on the agenda. Motion for adjournment.
Seifert moves for adjournment at
Kelly, second.
9:30.
Roll call, Gales, aye.
Bernacki, aye?
Seifert, aye.
Slick, aye.
Boom, done.